Okay, so now let's look at a scenario where the groups are not as round, not as even, everything's not as neat. And I'll just walk you through my thinking of what I would do in this situation. So let's say that we have 5 guided reading groups instead of 4, and then we still want to put our kids into 6 different centers groups, and we still want all of that stuff to be true where we can, have kids work in mixed ability or similar ability partners, and we also want to be able to pull for guided reading without, disrupting centers activities. So, again, we're going to try to create a difference between abilities within the groups that's significant but not too significant. So, let's just start with some red-yellow groups. Oops. All right. Looks like we can do another one. And then we have that yellow one left over. Let's hold off on that one. If we do green-orange pairings, which would be good for the ability difference, then what happens is that we have these 2 little orange and yellow guys, and then we have the highest group, which is blue, and we have them potentially being all in one group, which we don't really want. So what we can do is we can do just a little bit of swapping. We can do an orange and blue group because that's actually, you know what, let's do a yellow and blue group to kind of minimize the difference. Let's do that. And then let's do that. So right now I'm liking the gap between each of the groups. So, yellow to blue isn't too big, orange to green isn't too big. Basically, we just don't want a red to blue gap because that's too much of a gap. So we've avoided that. However, we still have these little orange and yellow guys, and we can do a couple of things. We could just add one on here and add one on here, but my preference is actually just to make a group of 6. So what I would do is I would ask myself, okay, what group can I add these onto so that we still have a good mix of ability partnerships so they can work with similar ability peers and, different ability peers. Well, yellow and orange aren't that different because in my little ranking I had red, orange, yellow. So those groups should only be about a level apart or so. So they could be paired together. And then let's see where they could go so that they could also learn from their peers. I kind of like them in here. So that way the yellow guys can learn from the blue guys. The orange guy can learn from the yellow or blue guys. And everything is more or less even. So that's kind of how I would handle a situation where we don't have an even number of groups and we have to do an extra group of 6. Obviously, your situation will kind of depend on your numbers, but if you use sticky notes or play around with an app like Explain Everything, that's what I'm using to create this, then hopefully you can work out something that will meet all of your needs and also put the kids in groups that will work well.